This is Janna and welcome to my kitchen. Today we are making one of my favorite desserts called tiramisu. And there's many different ones. I've made a berry masu. I haven't put it on the channel yet, but I'll do that this spring sometime probably. It's kind of a springy thing. But anyway, I'm going to start with some heavy whipping cream. I have 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. And it's cold, and I did refrigerate my bowl because it just makes it go a little better. And as soon as it starts to form a little bit, I've got some sugar here. And we're going to add 2 tablespoons of sugar. And I do use a fine sugar. It's called baker's sugar, but just look for, if you can, you don't have to do it. But I just like it better. And it's a just called baker's sugar, but it's not just this brand. Even stores have it. It just says fine sugar. This just happens to be ultra fine, but sugar's sugar. And I always make sure I buy cane sugar, but other than, if it doesn't say cane sugar, it's a beet sugar, sugar beets. And I'm just gonna gradually add that. And we're gonna get it nice until some stiff peaks form. And that's not gonna take very long. Got this big mixer. And so this is just really easy to make some of the tiramisu. It's just got like 3, 4, 5, 6 steps. And that's it. It's kind of fun. It's like putting a puzzle together. And so we just got to get these individual ingredients together. We'll be back in about probably 1 minute, so you don't have to sit here and watch this. Okay, we're back. I just wanted to show you this here and try and get in there as much as you can with your camera. But I wanted to show you what stiff peaks is for heavy whipping cream. If you beat it too long, it turns literally to butter. You will get butter and then it'll separate out some buttercream. Can you hear the difference? Okay, now I'm going to show you what stiff peaks is. See? It doesn't go back down. That's a stiff peak. And so now I'm going to pull it back up, and then I'm going to add some vanilla to this. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I have that good vanilla here. We're just going to stir that in. Okay, so there's that. And we're going to keep that in the bowl. Keep that together. And now we're going to bring over some of our other ingredients. This are 5 egg whites. I separated out the yolks. And to that, I've got 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar. Cream of tartar is kind of a stabilizer. You can find it right by the spices. And it helps to keep the egg whites stiff so that they keep their shape and don't deflate. That's what it does. If you don't have it, you can probably use it. But without the cream of tartar, this one's a little bit noisier. So we're going to get this to be stiff peaks as well. So as soon as this is stiff peaks, we're going to, getting close to stiff peaks, we're going to come back and add the sugar. I'm not going to make you listen to this. Okay, we're back, and we've got 2 tablespoons of that ultra-fine sugar. See you can see it's starting to hold its shape, the egg whites. And so that's when I want to start adding the sugar so that they can beat in. You can hear the mixer's working a little harder. And it's starting to get to that. It didn't take very long with my beaters here. Getting close to stiff. Right now, they're kind of a soft peak, I'll bet. I'll show you. Oh, they're stiff. They are. So now I'm going to add in a teaspoon of vanilla. Lots of good vanilla in this recipe. And it doesn't matter that it tints the egg whites a little bit because it's going to have chocolate in it anyway. There's my, see, stiff. They don't move once you pull them up. That is called stiff peaks. Oops. I don't know if you saw it, but I've got Jack and Bailey down here. They are not upset at all that Mama just did that. So now I'm going to put that aside. And now I'm going to bring over my 5 egg yolks. Remember I used the 5 egg yolk or egg whites to beat that. Now I've got this. We're going to beat them until nice and fluffy. We're going to start adding in 5 tablespoons of that ultra fine sugar. I just add a little at a time. And this is going to get so creamy. This is kind of making that custard that you have in the tiramisu. This is really a very fast recipe. It's just the prep time of measuring everything out ahead of time. And yes, these eggs are raw. If you don't like raw egg yolk, that's okay. There are ways you can look up on YouTube or whatever if you want to gently cook these as you're beating them. But I have never had a problem. I have fresh eggs. See how nice and custardy these egg yolks are becoming? Very nice. And you can hear the mixer working harder. And they're getting thicker and thicker. We're going to mix all these things together in just a few minutes, but if you tried to do it together, it wouldn't work. You have to do them separate and then fold them together. So now I'm going to add in the vanilla. I didn't want my vanilla to go flying all over, so. There we go. I'm going to reorganize all of these things and we're going to be right back and I'm going to show you how to assemble. Okay, I've got our heavy whipping cream here. And now I'm going to add 2 tubs of room temperature Marscapone cheese to the whipped cream mixture. I'm going to amp those in there. Get all that goodness out of there. Marscapone is like a cream cheese, an Italian cream cheese, similar to that. It's delicious and it's uber creamy. And you get it normally in the deli section at the grocery store. It's not normally by the dairy. It's normally in your deli or specialty food. Just ask your store if you can't find it. All right, get those out of my way. Wipe my hands off here. Now, I'm folding that into the heavy whipping cream. Get it nice and floofy. Scrape down your bowl. Make sure you get all that combined nicely. We'll go back up a second. Nice. I'm going to clean off my spatula here. If you guys want to know the things that I use here in the kitchen, my daughter Erin started one of my Facebook storefronts on Facebook, Amazon. I just said Facebook, a storefront on Amazon. And for instance, it'll have the kind of mixer that I have, the KitchenAid mixer, my hand mixer, yeah, spices and ingredients and pans and whatever I have that I'm featuring. I'm going to do that just for your ease of finding what you're looking for. If you're like, oh, I want to do that, what do I need to get? And so I'll just do that so that makes it easier. You don't have to. You can go to anywhere you want. Okay, so now I'm going to add in, remember our nice creamy custard of the egg yolks? So now we're going to stir those in. This is so creamy. Oh my gosh. So this is called folding. And you fold it in. You don't want to just stir it because you want to keep all the air in there for that fluffy custard. See how I'm turning that spatula? And then the last thing we're going to do is add in our egg whites over here. See, it's getting nice and combined, but yet it still has the fluffy air to it. Oh my gosh, when I go to Atlanta to visit our daughter, we go to a restaurant over there, and they used to. The last couple times I've been there, I don't know if they've got a new dessert chef, I don't know, pastry chef, but it hasn't been quite as good. And I'm like, I make better. And the cost that they charge you per piece has gotten much smaller because of the food costs, going up. And this is not an inexpensive dessert, but when you see how many servings it makes, it's not that bad. Okay, so these are the egg whites, and we're going to do the same with that. We're going to add in just a little bit of them at first because that'll lighten the custard mixture, and then it'll be easier to stir in the rest of those egg whites. So we fold them in just like this. This is so delicious because this is what makes the whole thing, is this custard. See how that is so light and fluffy. It is not thick. It is very light and fluffy, and it's about to get lighter and fluffier. Don't you like all of my adjectives? Fluffy, floofy. I'm saving a little bit. I have Bailey here. He's our golden retriever who loves to cook. And we call him Ratatouille because he is always watching Mama. And it's not just to catch something. That's not what it's about. He's not just hoping for a mistake. He truly is interested in cooking, and he has since he was a tiny little puppy. So we nicknamed him Ratatouille when he's in the kitchen with Mama. He's bumping the camera, so if it wiggles, you'll know why. Aaron's pretty good at keeping him at bay. And on the other side here, he has moved, and Jack is sound asleep, the other golden retriever. Get all of that goodness. Wipe my hand off here. And look how fluffy and light and delicious this custard has become. So yummy. And all of that vanilla, and it's a total of a cup of sugar, all those, 7 tablespoons or 5 tablespoons here and 2 tablespoons there, it all added up. There we go. Okay, I'm going to be back and we're going to assemble. Okay, welcome back. I have some Ladyfinger cookies. They're very crispy, light and airy, but they're crispy. And there's lots of different brands. You can look in the cookie section at your grocery store or in your deli section. And even though it says biscotti, ask for Ladyfingers, okay? And so this is easy. And then in this bowl, I made some espresso coffee, okay? All the ingredients are going to be in below the video. It'll say more, so look for that word more, and you will see that the entire written recipe and all the ingredients is right underneath that. You have to hit the word more. So I am dipping these Ladyfinger cookies in that room temperature espresso, and that is going to soften them. You know what, Janna? I was so busy with those cookies, I forgot to put in my custard. Okay, I've got some of the custard, and I'm spreading it in the bottom of this 9x13 pan. And get a nice thin layer. Oh, this custard is so good. So light, so fluffy. The Italians really know about good food, don't they? Between all the pasta and this. And so now I've got my Ladyfinger cookies, and this is going to be in my storefront too. You'll see a link below in my picture. And then these are the Ladyfinger cookies. They're light and crispy, okay? And I'm dipping them into the espresso. And you don't soak them, you just dip them quick because these cookies are light and airy, and so I had already started a few by accident. We thought we had our camera going. Okay, and so now I'm going to keep doing this, and we'll be right back. Okay, as you see, we got our dipped in espresso Ladyfingers on top of the custard. Now, put some more custard on top of these Ladyfinger cookies. And spread it. This is, my father-in-law, bless his heart, would have said, this is the gooderest part. He was so funny. He will be gone 20 years already this year, Harry, in June. And trying to be ambidextrous here and get that spread. I don't want to get in the way of the camera. So there you go. Now, real quick, I'm going to move my cookies to the side and my espresso to the side. And this will also be in my Amazon storefront. And this is some semi-sweet baker's chocolate. And this is a grater, but it's an OXO brand grater. And I put my chocolate bars in that. And some people use like already like cocoa, like unsweetened cocoa to do this. But I'm telling you what, this is really good. And so I'm not very strong in the hand, so I have to squeeze it. The turning part's easy. And so I'm going to do this and we'll be back. Okay, see how nice and fine that grates it? That's why I love this. And it also works for Parmesan cheese. Easy to clean too, you can put it in the dishwasher. Okay, so now that's my first layer. And now I'm going to repeat the same thing. I'm going to dip those cookies, put them in, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. I forgot to tell you that this is what I use. You can find them at most grocery stores. It's espresso, instant espresso coffee, but it's okay. I mean, because this is like $6 a box for 6 of the espressos. If you just brew really strong coffee and cool it to room temperature, it'll be the same. So just whatever you prefer. And so now I've got my second layer of the cookies already dipped in the espresso. And so now it's time to add our last layer of the custard. And then I'm going to sprinkle some more of the chocolate, shaved chocolate over the top. So we're going to be back and I will show you the finished product. And this is our complete, beautiful Italian tiramisu. And Erin's going to zoom in really close for you to see how that grater finely grates that fresh chocolate. And plus that big thick layer of custard underneath there on top of those espresso dipped cookies. Oh my gosh, this is so good. So I'm going to let this sit overnight. And then we'll come back and I'll cut a piece, because if I cut it now, it's just going to fall apart because it all has to marry together and be all yummy and delicious. Thank you for stopping by Janna's Kitchen. It means so much for me to have you here, and we will see you next time. Okay, we're back. It's the next day because it needs to sit in the refrigerator overnight for sure. And as you can see, it's a little variegated because I put, of course, extra chocolate on. And the lighter color, it just hasn't absorbed yet, but that's okay. When I cut it, it doesn't matter. But if I would have let it set longer in the refrigerator, it would eventually all turn to the darker cocoa color. And so I'm going to cut a piece so you can see our tiramisu. This is, like I said, this is so perfect for, it is expensive to make because each of the tubs of mascarpone at our store is $5. I know that Aldi, it's the best price. I just didn't run over there. And I tried to cut it about the width of my spatula. And you can see all of the little cookies in there. And they're all absorbed. I'm going to take that, get that out of there. But you can see it's really layered nicely inside of there with all those cookies that have absorbed all of the moisture. And if I would have even let it set a little bit longer, you know, it would be perfect. But I brought my mom's good china out because this is perfect for Easter. I got the schmutz all over. And I have a gold rim on my china there. So I brought out a gold paper napkin. And that is tiramisu. And it's one of my favorite desserts. And it is very expensive if you go to a restaurant and get the real thing. Some restaurants have commercial purchased and then they just serve it, you know, slice and serve it. But anyway, this is homemade. And like I said, all of this, it's not that hard. It's just those 3 steps of whipping the cream, adding the mascarpone, and then having the egg yolks beaten until nice, thick, and creamy, and then the egg whites that you fold in last. So I'll have all of the directions down on the bottom of the video. See where it says more, hit that, and then all of the grocery list, everything will be underneath there. So thank you for stopping by Janna's Kitchen. I'm gonna have some tiramisu.